Good morning, everybody. I am Heather Fowler, and I'm glad you could join our webinar this morning. We've got a great call. We've got some guest speakers. We've got Josh Lawford. He's going to speak first and talk about certifications, and then Paul Todd is going to talk with us a bit about Medicare Pro and about joining NABIB. And then Alysia is going to wrap up for us today. She's got lots of good things to share about using technology to help us grow. And if you hear the noise above, that's the Blue Angels practicing overhead our camper here. So I will just go ahead and turn it over to Josh, and I'll mute myself and we'll just get started. And Lisa, by the way, is moving her son. So that's why she was not able to be on here today. So I know she's missing it. All right, Josh, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, well, good morning. And I want to make this interactive today because this is the time of the year that we're all super, super busy. All the certifications. I know it came out at the end of last month. And then what we saw on our end is all the carriers started like trickling in. United was this day, and then Aetna was this day. And then Humana finally came out. The biggest thing that I want to talk to everybody about is there's multiple ways this year to get ready and certified through whether you do it through AHIP, which we've been doing it forever, which is if you go through certain carriers, and I know for sure the Humana does. At first we thought they weren't, but now they still do. And Devoted has that $50 discount. Okay, that'll drop that down if you hadn't taken it to 125. Okay, and so I did that because I've just been doing it forever. Now I've been hearing so many people rave and rave about the NABIP this year and how it was super informative, but it was just easier and it's cheaper. It's only $100.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
So I don't know. So I know we can't do a raise of hands because not everybody's on video, but like, who all took the NABIP this year?
Rick
Okay,
did.
so everybody did. Okay, a lot of people. Okay, I knew there's Goofy did, or is that Pluto or Goofy on your head?
Goofy.
Goofy. Okay. Well, so like I said, it's easier, and even on our national calls, we're seeing people across the nation also, do that route. Okay. And so I did feel like it's easier. Now, I will tell you again, we've talked about this before. Obviously, make sure you do, reading all the modules and things like that. Usually, modules 4 and 5 are the ones that have the most updates when it comes to anything changing throughout the years and all that kind of stuff. I did see some different questions on the AHIP this year with just some updates. However, because I'm best friends with this amazing app slash website called Quizlet.com. It is a great study guide. Goofy's shaking his head no, but I'm just telling you, it was the exact questions. I found one that it showed us what you want to do is when you go on there, find who is like how many people have studied that today. It'll show on there. There's 30 people have studied this today. I found one that had 150 answers and 79 people had studied that day. So the odds were that was going to be a good one. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I got lazy with looking up stuff after I got to about 40, and I just guessed on the rest. I say guess. I've been doing this for 20 years, so I entered the rest, and I made a 98. And so, anyway, that's always a good resource. Um, to be honest with you, a lot of people are like, oh, we got AI. We'll just pop that in there. Be careful with that because I'm telling you, I've seen some folks try to do that. And some of the sites out there are not as accurate as the others. So you want to just read the stuff, y'all. We got to know this. We're helping people and it's going to be good. So
here.
yeah.
Go
So
for it.
Paul, any words on the NABIP? You want to give your pitch on that? I know you do.
Well, of course I do. So NABIP, and you can also go to Google and for in the search bar of Google on your phone and hit the camera and take a picture. That'll give you the answer too. But the NABIP, just saying with the NABIP thing, hey kids, we're on a call. So NABIP,
Is that Josh Lawford? Is that Josh Lawford?
yeah, it's like a Josh Lawford. So anyway, The NABIP, the other thing I like about NABIP is the certification thing that you get. So you get a logo that you can put on your email signatures and put everywhere that says that I am certified and that you have a nice certification. So I like that. I do both just because I've been doing both for a long time. But the NABIP, if you put it on your email signature, you can put it other places. Now you're certified. That's a cool thing to be able to do.
Paul, the only downside right now is, and I want to bring this to Josh's attention, is that a lot of your regional carriers like Sempra does not accept the
They,
NABIP.
they will. They will by the
So,
end. I'm
yeah, well,
talking to them.
and the thing is, and that's what I wanted to bring. I'm part of the Medicare Advisory Council group, and that's going to be a topic today that we're going to talk about is how do we get in touch with these regional small carriers to get them on board? Because obviously, if we go to AHIP, we're supporting the carriers. If we go to NABIP, we're supporting NABIP. And that's where the difference. That's why we have to push that NABIP side because we want to push. But for some of us that have those small regional carriers, we have to take the AHIP still. And
Well, everyone in Alabama, and I've talked to Jerry and those guys at Sempra to take it, but everyone in Alabama takes NABIP. So Blue and everybody.
Yeah, so
Viva.
if you're taking in the other states and all, just make sure. I did have a list of those actually. I think Heather, I may send you that list. I'm gonna try to locate it. So if you want to attach it when you send this out, Rick brings up a point I was gonna make at the end that we're seeing more of those that didn't do it last year because Aetna wouldn't take it forever, and so now Aetna's taking it, and then like you said, Semper said they're taking it, and then I'm assuming Viva does too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Viva does.
yeah,
Now, I will tell you what we do have to remember though is that the list, if there's an asterisk by the carrier's name, that means you have to manually enter your NABIP certificate into the file. It does not automatically transfer over. And if you forget to transfer it over and you don't take the AHIP, you ain't getting paid.
that
So
is a fantastic point. I am so glad you made that because I totally forgot about that. That's
yeah,
great. And also, I don't know if you remember this, and I always do till I get there. Is a lot of people forget to transmit when they get into AHIP and you finish it and you take all I've passed AHIP. Oh no, I don't. I got fraud, waste, and abuse, general, this and that, which is on anyway. Quizlet too, but so when you get to the end right there, just make sure you go back and transmit and all. And the one that always gives me the problems when I hit the transmit button, after that is always Humana. But then as soon as I log into Humana, um, to through their module, which like this year for those who hadn't taken it, Humana doesn't have a test on there still, so you just can rock and roll through that bad boy. Okay, and then also on Devoted, theirs is pretty quick, like really quick, and once again, I found theirs on Quizlet Plus. I mean, we've been doing this now with them for I guess 4 years, so we're all pretty used to it. So those are pretty fast. And that's all. Now, me personally, that's all I've taken. I know United Healthcare makes you take 50 tests, and if you plan to do any events, make sure that you do their, the D-SNP, C-SNP. So sometimes people will do the top part and they'll forget all those the ones on the end. Okay, so just remember that. But we got a couple months to get it, but I always tell people go ahead and knock it out so you get that off your plate, so you can get focused on AEP, and that's it. So I'm gonna quit talking so Goofy can talk, and then our main speaker after that. So
Thank you, Josh. That was helpful. And if anyone's wondering about the ACA FFM certification, right now that site, it went dark Sunday, I believe it was the 12th, and it will open back up when the 2027 plan year is ready. So hopefully, that'll be around the beginning of August. And at that time, I'll provide some more guidance on getting that done. But all right, Paul, why don't you talk to us now about NABIB and the benefits of joining it, and then talk to us a little bit about how we could use Medicare Pro.
It's
Okay,
down where it's
sure.
everywhere except
And
And
I'll figure out who's talking and mute. Let's see. Okay, I got it. I think I got it. Okay. Yeah.
is it
So take it
is
away,
it
Paul.
possible to share screens too?
Yeah, let me get that pulled up. Let's see. I believe I have it set up that you should be able to share your screen.
All
See
right,
if you can.
let's do
Yeah.
that. All right, cool. So, as far as NABIP and joining it, you can just go to AL NABIP, and love to have you guys join us there on the AL NABIP and be part of that. And you go right in there and join NABIP, and it takes you right in. And it's basically $40, 40 and some change. And the benefits of it is the fact of what we do for you. We are working for ACA people, we are working for Medicare people, we're working for group people. Not only do we do things like we've got the certification, but we're up in DC working on the regulations that are coming out. One of the things I love doing is going in the end of February and going to DC and talking to our congressmen and our senators about legislation. And we were involved this year in getting some legislation approved and going. So I love doing that. And you can find that in the NABIP there. So the little ones are back up. So
yes.
okay. So and just if you go to the NABIP site, nabip.org, that's where you can get your NABIP certification. You can just go right there. But what I wanted to share a little bit for, all right, shh, so be quiet. So be quiet. Let her wear that.
I'm
Okay.
so happy, by the way, that this is happening to him right now. Y'all have no idea.
Yeah, because always when you talk to Josh, you always got all that, right? So, but yeah, let me get into Medicare Pro. Medicare Pro, the thing I like about Medicare Pro is the fact that it is good for both ACA and for Medicare. And Medicare Pro is it's a simple basic system for anyone to use to get started. How many hours do I have on this one? Heather?
You're on mute, Heather. Heather,
We
you're on
can't hear
mute.
you.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I had it on mute so you wouldn't hear all the noise
Yeah.
from the planes. But yeah, take as long as you want, Paul. I mean, we want to hear what you've got to say, and
Well,
we've got the whole hour. So, and then
Lisa
Alicia,
has a
she's going to spot.
lot to offer
Yeah,
also.
yes,
So
she
w-
does.
what, what I will put a note in here that on August 27th, okay, August 27th, we're going to have in Vestavia, we're going to do a Medicare training during the day, but from 4 to 6, we are going to have a free, no charge, 2 hours on Medicare Pro, be in Vestavia. And that will be there from 4 to 6 for anybody that wants to come, can be at that training from 4 to 6 on August 27th. It's going to be right there. So we've got all that. So, um, with all that being said, Medicare Pro, it's it's one of the simplest, easiest CRMs. I use Go High Level. Some people are using Agency Block, and they use this one and that one. And I think Lisa uses Agency Block, which is great, but it can be involved. And so I've switched all these things up, so I'm not doing any AHIP. I mean, what am I trying to say? No PHI or anything else like that. So we're not worried about any HIPAA stuff on any of these people. But once you put somebody in, like Ms. Booth right here, you can put in their status, and it's great to be able to put inactive, active, non-commissionable, because sometimes we don't make commissions right on different things, but most of the time we can figure out ways to do that. Active, inactive, personal contact, or if they've deceased. And The source, I love the source because you can track the source, that it's a referral, and then who referred it. So you can track all that so that once again, you can go to those people and find them out. Then this is just the basic page that is just information, but if they got a spouse, then you can put the spouse in, and then the spouse comes up here at the top, which is great to have at that. And I'm just giving a quick overview of this, but you've got the emails and everything right here for them and their addresses and all that's there. But then you can put their doctors in. So you know who the doctors are. You can put their meds in, and you just keep adding to the meds and whatever else that you want to put med wise in there. So um, it whatever you put in, whatever that one is, let's do that one, and you can put that in there, and it puts it in there so that you can uh, once again look it up, and you can quote it right here, or you can go to other areas and quote it. Put notes in there. So every time you talk to someone, you put a note. For those of you that use Ring Central, okay? So the Ring Central, your call logs, your SMS logs, they're all right here. If you're using Ring Central or another one that is syncing with here. So all your notes are right here with this person. So you don't have to worry about, oh, they're over here, over there. They're all right there.
Paul, can I ask a question real quick? Do
Sure.
you know the carriers that will sync with Medicare Pro as far as phone is concerned?
I'll show you. Okay. In just a second, I'll show
Okay.
that area that for
Okay.
sure. The emails, I love the emails because once you set up and sync your emails, all the emails, whether you did it through Medicare Pro or whether you did it through your own Outlook or wherever, will sync right in here. And so you'll be able to see every email you sent to the person. If you had docs, you can upload documents and say, okay, what was that doc? And sometimes, it's going to be a scope or it's going to be something else. And, so you just go and you look at it. I just happen to upload another doc that's in there, but it takes all kinds of docs right there that you can put in there for people. So those are cool. Then under the security aspect of it, you have another section where you keep their social security number, you keep their Medicare number, and when it all started. Then let's say you've got somebody that is Medicaid and you put their number in, and then what level are they? Oh, this is just a Slim B plus, okay, and LIS 100%. What I like on that is when I come back out and come back up, look at the top. So all I have to do is pull that person up and I say, oh, this is a Medicaid person. And it's right there. And then I can click on these and see, oh, I had a task for this person. Ooh, I'm 1 day overdue. And you also, and I know I'm running through this quickly because I just want to save time for everyone else, but we've got coming down here, you've got where the tasks are here.
Go back up to St. Louis?
So, and then coming down here, that task is overdue, so there's none due today. But you look at monthly renewals, your yearly production, birthdays, just right here on the front. Hey, this guy's aging in 6 months. Here's some open leads that I got to work with. Here's the certifications that we already got done. And this is fun here, the Part D penalty calculator, so that you can put in and put the birthday year of 57. Well, let's see, let me put 1957. Must be a young person. Well, that person's going to pay $19.49 a month, approximately. So I kind of like that aspect of being able to use that for these people sometimes. So there's all of those features there, and then you put your calendar in, so your calendar's right there. Then you can look at clients, you can look at policy types, and everything else that's there. And the other feature that I really like, going back to Miss Jennifer here, is the fact that let's look at policies. So these are just thrown in there, but you can do Medicare policies and it has all the policies so you know exactly what that person is. You can do ancillary, you can do life insurance, ancillaries, guaranteed trust. And then just for the fun of it on her, I just threw in that you also can do what? ACA, Blue Cross of Alabama. She's also on there, and I can do it that she was actually, her status now is replaced or whatever because of where she's at right now. And we update and save that. So it allows you one system to do all of ancillaries, Medicare, ACA, everything right in front of you. And you say, okay, that's great, Paul, but how do I find them? So in the reporting, you can come over here in the reporting and you can add active, prospect, and everyone else and do that. But then you come over here and you can select whether or not you want to do it by company or by city, state, by age, by plan name. And this is something that I want to talk down the road about coming up AEP, but this is where you can direct emails. And I think everyone should do a video for all your Blue Cross people, all your Humana people, all the other people. And you can do it on the ACA people, that you send out a specific little video webinar to these people that are your book of business already and explain the changes. I know they get an agent that get a record of what all the changes are, but how many people read that? How many people understand that? But if you do a simple video and then you email that to all those people and you can be specific with that, that's going to save the time for AEP that we were talking about. How do we save time for our families? That's going to help us. That's the key thing. Talking to some people that have 25,000 members, that's what they do is videos. And so you can be real specific on sending those out to your people. And I think that's so important when you do that and run your report. I do it to run my birthday reports every month and send those out. But see, it'll just send them and you can do it. So, you know, all the people in Alabama or Vermont or Louisiana, you can be really specific on that aspect of it. So, you know, policies by type, policies by company. It's a quick report. Boom, you're all set. You come in here, which company? So it's really, well, that's old, isn't it? Cigna. Got to change. I've had some of these things in there for a while. But anyway, so that's kind of that overview. So the other thing on this reporting real quick that we're here is these email templates. One of the greatest things that I use is these email templates, because on these email templates, when you're going to go send an email to somebody, you've already got an email, whether or not, hey, I just was there, we just taught, we just enrolled, and it sets it up where you can put their name in there and whatever else. This is one on the GLP-1, right? And then it puts your name, you can do a signature, it does everything. So when you're sending emails, you just select the template and send that out, you know? So there is tremendous amount. Those templates can save you a lot of time once you set up your emails in here. So Rick, going to your question, is when you come over here to integrations and you look under integrations, then you can start looking and seeing what integrations that you can get for phones and everything else that's there that you want to look at. And you know, you can even integrate your Health Sherpa. It's crazy what all you can do with this and setting it all up. All the different integrations. There's your Outlook. There's your Ring Central. Those that have retire flow, it'll do retire flow. But that brings up something else. Slide broadcast. Let me just put a note on that. You can, in the reports, do a report for birthdays, or let's do a report for everyone in Blue Cross in North Alabama. You can do a slide broadcast and hit that, and it'll slide broadcast to everybody, just that group, not the whole book of business. So you can get really specific and really use that. Once again, talking about AEP, that's going to reduce our AEP. Okay, Zoom phone, Zoho.
So let me go back down. I'm sorry, Zoho. So I could take my Zoho CRM and integrate it into this, and then
Yes,
just
yeah,
drop
but
Zoho, so it automatically. So you can basically import all your information into this.
yes, and they will import it for you if you want them to.
So is their customer service stateside or overseas?
It's a couple guys here stateside.
Okay. So they don't.
They're
So you don't talk to somebody over in India like Zoho.
no, no. You got Andrew and Ryan, and they've worked a lot with Lee and Ike and Lisa on even customizing some stuff for us. One of the benefits that I like in this whole thing is most of the CRMs are what? Pushing $100, 150 a month. What's this CRM? It's $35 a month. It's 45, but you get a discount, all capitals, AL-NABIP will give you $10 off. So it's $35 a month to have all of this. And there is the other big thing that I really, really, really like is this other thing, because some people are paying $49 right now for Retire Flow. The reason being is because we want to get information from people, right? And so that's an issue. But we can come over here in client portals, and you can create your own portal to send to them. And then what I like is you've got an ACA portal. So you can send an ACA portal out that gets them to give you permission. It gives you, if someone's interested in ACA, you can ask them for their income, for how many people in the household, everything that's there, and you send this out to them. Okay. It's going to ask them for their birthday, their last name and their birthday. Okay. And it'll tell them that up front. So you can send one out just as a lead, and it's not going to require any of that, just a general lead thing. You can do your Medicare. You can set these things up the way you want to set them up. You want to just do the drugs, send this out to your clients already, send it out there, you do it. And all you got to do is you can do new portals and come in here, and allows you to select what you want to select and what you want to ask them for. You want their RX, and you make it required. You want their pharmacies, you want their providers, you want social security numbers, you want a scope of appointment, you can get a scope of appointment. Okay. All of these things set up. So that once again reduces things and makes it simpler. And for the ACA, there you go. What? You want the income, right? You need how many dependents, and you can make their income required. What I like on this is the income being required is if there's ever a question that I had to pay this much on taxes because my income was low. Oh, excuse me. You sent this to me with your income. You have documentation. You have covered yourself on the income aspect of it. So this is simple on all of those aspects of what this does for you. So it's
So
pretty
so
intensive.
so like if you just want to use this just for ACA, you can use just for ACA and cover your backside during open enrollment. And if anything comes back to haunt you, you don't have to use it. You're just showing us everything that you could use for it, not just necessarily have to use it for that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So for $35 a month, I can use it for all my ACA clients.
Yes.
Alysia, sounds like this is what you need.
She's a little more involved in what she does, so you know,
But
she
I'll tell you, you did make my eyebrows go up because I pay quite a bit of money for Form Doctor to create some intake forms for me that cost me significantly more than $35 a month, and it doesn't integrate well with my CRM, and there's still some manual work I have to do. So you definitely have um, got my attention, sir.
well, good. I like that.
I
So
liked the part about the video that you could email, that you can make a video in email and explain things. So that would be great.
yeah, it's what they have is cool. Now, the other thing is an automation thing that they have. Now, automations are $19, okay? But your upper end CRMs that, or agency block and all these other things, they're charging you a bloody fortune for this. So what automations do we want? Well, I can set up for right here. Okay. If I've talked to a lead, I can immediately have it send out a email. Okay. I can send out a week later, I can trigger something and send out a text message to them. Then a month later, you can send this out. Take, for instance, if you write somebody up, you put in here that I signed them up today, then I can trigger this for in 2 weeks, send them an email and say, hey, Rick, we signed you up. I want to make sure that you've gotten your stuff, everything that you need from HealthSpring. Hopefully it's going good. If you got any questions, let me know. So you've done that. Then you also can have it set up and say, hey, Heather, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. And you can set it up via text or via email. So you can set these automations up that just personalizes. And once again, it's work in the background that you don't have to do, that it's doing for you. It becomes another assistant for you for $19 a month. If you're just starting out, you got a book of business of under 100 or something like that, you don't may not need to do that. But start slow and expand it all the way around. I know other people that are using this, not to mention any names like maybe Paige Phillips, that uses Ring Central. All of her Ring Central calls are recorded and go in here. They're all in there. They're all saved. They're all there. And she has the automations going out. She has the all of this with slide broadcast going out right from the system. It's all set up right here, that you can set it out and send all of this for them so that they have everything. It's worth every penny of the $19 when you're putting all of that together and making that. But one of the other things that I love, and I don't have it set up on this demo site, but let me see if Miss Jennifer has it set up. No, yeah, I do. Okay. So one of the things that we do on enrolling people that sometimes takes a lot of time is you have to go to the website and enroll them in their website and then come back and put it into your CRM. With Medicare Pro, if you want to, you're comfortable with this, you can put everything into the CRM and then, oh, I like to enroll in Sunfire or Connexure, which I like to do Connexure, which Blue Cross Blue Shield will allow you to do that. And so you just come in and do that. And it's on my laptop that I hadn't entered everything in this morning yet. So
Hey, let me
what can I
say
say?
something while you're doing that. Sunfire has removed the ability to do Medicare subs, by the way.
Really?
Yep, I don't know if anybody's noticed that, but take a look at it today. I talked to my upline about it, and being that Sunfire is their own company, they can do whatever they want. So just be aware of that.
It hadn't been my favorite one anyway, because the thing that I found with Connexure is, or MetaChoice, it brings the drugs and the doctors and most of all that stuff in there. Now,
Well,
last year it didn't bring every drug in, but it brought most of them in. It might bring in, 8 out of 9 or something like that. But what's cool about this is this person is already included right here,
mhm.
and you can check, which it's not correct, but come down here and search plans, and you could actually enroll right here. But the other thing is, if you want to just go, like I'd rather go to Humana or whatever, it's right here. I can quickly look up in MetaChoice Connector and find all the plans that I need right here.
Plus
Saves so
Sunfire.
much time.
Plus Sunfire does not have an import-export feature. MetaChoice and Connecture does. So if you're trying to move everything out of Sunfire, you're going to manually move every single person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So love this thing. How it does this. This has saved me so much time and not re-entering. And it's all right there. So, I mean, I love it. And we know for those that do Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, that they will take a Connecture enrollment that we can enroll them directly in there instead of going into the Blue Cross system. And it makes it a simple enrollment right there with them. So, that's how I work with this system. If you're doing husband and wife, like I said, the spouse is right there. You can flip back and forth to the two of them. You can just
Hey,
it's
Paul,
one of the
Paul, do you use the
best.
SOA on this as well? So if you hit the SOA, you can see if they've returned it to you. They sign it, and then you sign it to check
So
the next window.
yes, okay. So you can do the scope right here if you want to do the scope right here, just individual. But I like to send the profile thing in there using the um, what am I trying to say here? The old man in me's coming out. The client
If you
profile.
attach it, you can attach the SOA to that email.
Yes, you can just send this out that I want to do a new scope right here and put it in there what we're doing and that kind of thing, and just email it or text it out or print it if they're right in the office.
Will
So
that work? Well, I guess, would that work for the ACA, or is it easier on Health Sherpa just to have them do it at the end? Heather, you know what I'm speaking about, right?
well, at the
Yes,
end on
I
Health
am.
Sherpa, you got to put the numbers in.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So it won't work on that. Okay. Well, hey,
Yeah,
listen, guys, I hate to cut. I've enjoyed this, but I've got a pressing issue I got to take care of. So good seeing everybody. Thanks, Paul, for all the information.
Thanks,
you're
Rick. Have
welcome.
a good afternoon.
You too.
And yeah, there's so much I could do. So flags, everything else. That's that's a quick overview. I don't want to take. At least it's got so much good information. Just
Thank you,
know we
Paul.
got 2 hours in August if you're around to come check it out, and holler at me if you got a specific question. They have terrific if you're in this thing, all their help menu gives all that you need and going through everything that we just talked about. So I'll be
Thank you,
quiet.
Paul. I look forward to more training on it. This has been great. And so now we'll let Alysia take us through to the end. She's got tons of good stuff to share. So, Alysia,
She does.
thank you, and
Well,
just
I want to
take it.
say, Paul, did you say on your Medicare Pro that it will integrate with Health Sherpa? Will it integrate with Health Sherpa ACA or just the Health Sherpa Medicare side?
Supposed to do both, and it's brand new, so I've got to look exactly. I know this, Alicia, they have uploaded all of my ACA clients into it from Health Sherpa.
Bruh, we need to talk about this more in depth. This very much
Yeah.
has my attention because getting Health Sherpa to integrate with any CRM is quite
Yes.
difficult, and a large amount of my staff's time is taking information from my Sherpa and getting it into CRM. And as you know, the Health Sherpa will only let you be in there with your NPN. So if I'm in Sherpa working, my staff can't get in Sherpa to pull the information they need to get it into my CRM. So there's a lot of sit and wait and hold, and
Yep.
this could be a big deal. And I may be able to utilize both CRMs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm really, really glad that you went over this, and I will probably be reaching out to you a little bit more or seeing if there's a way I can practice with it and learn more about it. So I really appreciate you bringing that to the table today.
Yeah. You get a 30-day free trial. So
Hmm,
sign up and play with it.
good to know. Well, thanks, Paul.
Yep.
Well, hello everybody. Part of what I want to talk about today is, like Paul mentioned earlier, if you're just new and you're just starting out, start small, start cheap. That's exactly what I did. I did a lot of manual things, manually writing birthday cards and manually calling and all of that. And that worked really fine when you're starting out because you don't have any money. Let's be honest, you start out real poor, right? And then as you grow, you can start introducing some more complex things. Um, I did not have AHG or a mentor when I started. I had literally no idea what I was doing, and I didn't know anybody who did this, and I just started doing stuff. So having AHG and all of these great people to help you kind of get on the right path if you're a new agent is invaluable. So definitely start out with a cheap CRM like this Medicare Pro. And if I had met Medicare Pro, 5 years ago, that would have saved me a lot of money. I started out spending way too much money out the gate with the CRM, hoping that I would be this big thing and I wouldn't have to continuously change CRMs later. But this has a lot of really amazing functions in it that the more expensive CRMs really sell you on. And if you're just starting out and you're not complex, this will be all you will need for a very, very long time. Um, some of the things that have made my life easier. So I have a in my opinion, a decent sized book of business, and I only have a unlicensed receptionist. I did just get a new licensed agent. Woohoo! That's going to help me make my life easier. I cannot be more thrilled. I'm going to just shower her with money, if she will let me, if she will take on some of these sales. But what I've had to do is learn how to use technology to make me as efficient as possible because I literally cannot talk to every single person all day long, every day. At the beginning of this call, before some of you got on it, we talked about trying to find that work-life balance. The reason we all are here and don't have a corporate job that we go in and we clock into is because we had this dream that we can make money and still be with our families and have a life. And we're going to try to make that dream come true. And it is a delicate balance that every agent has to go through. Do I want money or do I want to spend time with my family? And you may be one person today and a different person tomorrow. And so that balance will, or that juggling act is going to be there every day. I have not figured out a way to just make that completely dissipate and make bunches of money and not have to work at all. If any of you figure that out, please call me. I would love to hear that. So, in the meantime, though, I have had to utilize AI and computer systems, automations, integrations in these systems to be able to manage all of that. Automations are a big deal, even if you use Medicare Pro. For example, on my ACA side, we have to spend a lot of time in the call talking about how the ACA works, how subsidies work, the rules and laws about who can be on your plan and who can't, and do you have to file married jointly? And there's just a lot of disclosure. Half of the conversation is disclosure and telling them about how the whole process works. And a third of the appointment is actually picking the plan, right? Most of it is disclosure. You can utilize these automations to help you huge with that. Just like Paul mentioned, making videos. If you know that when you're doing ACA and you have Select Silver and Value Silver, those plans are extremely similar, but you're going to save money if you have a preferred provider, if you designate, if you do these things. Instead of repeating the exact same things in every single phone call, make a video that explains the difference between the Select Silver and the Value Silver. Send that out before calls, or, especially during open enrollment. Have automation set up where you send one video a week. Hey, FYI, don't forget, these are the difference in this or that. So to Paul, he is very correct. Work smarter, not harder. If you find out that you are repeating the exact same thing in every single call, make a video. If you don't like the way you look on the camera, that is perfectly fine. You can utilize things like AI, like Claude. I love Claude. Claude is my favorite for work. And it is a little bit more safe than using ChatGPT or Copilot, some of those functions. So you can literally work with Claude, and I'm an external processor. So I can't type out everything I want to tell her and it make any sense. So I just cut on the little microphone button and I'm like, hey, Claude, I need to make a video explaining the difference between the Select Silver and the Value Silver. And I have to repeat this every single phone call that I have. So I want you to help me make this as intuitive as possible, make it sound positive and happy, and just verbally dump all of your thoughts into the microphone. You don't have to type it all out. It doesn't have to make any sense. If you're anything like me, you can be in the middle of a thought and say, well, wait a minute. No, I don't want to do that. Instead, let's make the video do this. And you can just bleh. And then you hit submit, and she takes everything you said, which was a hot discombobulated mess if your brain works like mine, and she makes it make sense, and she'll say, okay, I'll make you a video. And she'll just make you a video. And you can be like, I didn't really like that one. Let's tweak this and tweak that. So to make that a little bit of a smaller conversation, you can download Claude. It has a free version, but you're very limited on what you can do with that. I do suggest doing the paid version so that you can set it up for her, he, whatever gender you want to give it, to understand you, remember who you are, and understand your core values. When I first set up my Claude, I took an hour or two and I was like, all right, I want to introduce myself to you. This is who I am. This is my company. This is the logo. This is how I got my start. This is what I'm trying to accomplish and do with my business. These are my core values. And I want you to remember this conversation, and I want you to implement it in everything you ever do for me. And you set her up like a company manager, like a team member, like an employee of your company, but her memory is going to be way better. Okay. So utilize AI, and you don't use it like a Google search function. It is a very different concept. If you just want to know a quick answer to something, you can Google that, utilize that. But Claude or ChatGPT is for high functioning co-working. That is what it's for. But it doesn't know who you are unless you tell it who you are. So start that out just like a relationship. Go on your first date with Claude and tell it who you are, what your expectations are of Claude, and then you build that relationship. And then you will get major functionality out of that. For example, if you are working with a client and you can use it for video creation. I've even helped Claude has used me make, helped me make employee benefits packages. That's something I've been using it for a lot this week. If any of you do group benefits, that is a labor intensive job and they have lots of questions and one company wants to offer this and one company wants to offer another, and then you end up having all of these different products: medical, dental, vision, accident, life, cancer. I cannot make a pretty little booklet on PowerPoint by my little lonesome. And if I did, that would take me an unconceivable amount of time, and it is not what I like to do with my life. Okay. You just upload all of those documents, all of those quotes into Claude and say, hey, Claude, I need to make an employee benefits package. Here's all of the quotes and documents I've got for the company, and I want you to make it pretty. She puts your logo on it. She puts your phone number on it, puts the enrollment QR codes on it. I got that done in 20 minutes because you have to verify what she has and make sure it matches. She's not perfect. She is a robot, but she's pretty darn close. Okay. Did you have something, Paul?
Yeah, I got to say that I'm now a published author because of Claude.
It's
So
amazing.
I've worked on putting a book together for the last 2 or 3 years, but now you can go to Amazon and Turning 65 Without Fear, Paul Todd, I'm there. So you can use it like you're saying, and y'all can do, every one of us can do a book. My next one is going to be on ACA. I'm not going to make money off of it, but it's on Amazon and gives us all credibility, right? So it's a 160 some page book that Amazon is only charging me like $2, less than $3 to buy the book myself. And I put it on there for $9.99. So I can give it to people that I'm an author. It builds your credibility. It builds you with ACA. And so Claude, he
No.
he's my best buddy. I'm telling you, he's my best buddy.
And it's really, if you've never used AI, and I had practiced with ChatGPT in my personal life, like we used it in Iceland, right? We're in Iceland. I can't Google all the things there are to do and make a path and where do I stay and when do I stop. So I just say, hey, I'm in Iceland. I'm going to start off in Reykjavik. I'm going to end up here. I have this many days. Make me a schedule, important things I need to see. And they just chart your path out, right? And take all that brain work off of you so you can enjoy your life. So I had used ChatGPT in my personal life for little simple things like that that aren't going to be devastating. But Claude can really, really dig deep and build charts and graphs. Right now, I'm literally building a video game for myself. So nice to meet all of y'all. I am severely ADHD, but I love structure. I love budgeting. I love having a set way of doing things, but I can't create it and I cannot stay on task, right? So I had a conversation with my robot about I have this financial goal. This is where I want to be. This is when I would like to be there. But I keep getting off the path and seeing something shiny. And I'm like, oh, well, let me go get this, RV camper first before I meet this goal. It'll be fine. No. So we talk it out with the robot. And she understands now how my brain works because I've worked for her so long. And she's like, if I just make you a spreadsheet with goals that you need to meet, you're not going to do it because a spreadsheet doesn't excite you and gives you zero dopamine. So we're going to turn it into a video game. And I was like, what? Like, this is her idea, right? We're going to make it a video game and we're going to have one goal at a time. And then you're going to tell me every time you put $5 in your savings account and you're going to get XP points. And then there's going to be like a boss that we have to beat. And she's building this video game for me so that I get excited about putting money in my savings account. So, to circle back to what this meeting is supposed to be about, you should get Claude You should integrate her with your emails, your calendars, anything that you can pair her with your CRM, and let her help you be better at your job and save you lots and lots of time. You still have to check her, make sure she's saying things the way you want her to say them. But even if you just save 2 seconds in an email, going back and fixing the spelling corrections or punctuation, every one of those 2 seconds add up. And at the end of the day, that's more minutes that you had with your family or that you can just not be sitting at your computer. So I won't sit here and just keep pushing Claude down your throat, but you do need to practice. On top of Claude, another thing that has made a huge difference in my ACA business is workplace, Zoom workplace. So Todd mentioned Ring Central. I have a different phone system. I use Intults. It works exactly the same, and it integrates with my CRM that I use. Every single phone call, every text, every interaction that I have with a client is time-stamped, dated, recorded, and it automatically saves in their client file. So I can track everything I have ever said to a customer. We all know a customer may call 3 months ago and kind of get the gist of what insurance is going to look like, and then you forget about them. And then they randomly call you a week before their coverage is going to end and be like, hey, I need to go ahead and get that insurance started. Bruh, if you do not have that information saved in a history, you have to start back all over from scratch. You're wasting your time. So I may have to screen share, but we're running out of seconds. So let me just say this. Utilize Zoom Workplace. When my phone rings, whether it's an outbound call or an inbound call, Zoom is just always up on the bottom of my computer and it catches the phone ringing and it will say, do you want to take notes? And I always hit yes. It keeps a transcript. Not only will I have the recorded call in their file, but it makes a transcript. And then it makes a summary of everything that we talked about in that call. This is, y'all talked about this person is losing work coverage at the end of the month, but they have a disabled adult daughter, and like it keeps all those details. And then it tells you, here's your action items. At some point in the phone call, you said you were going to do this. So don't forget that you're supposed to call and figure out this function. You said you were going to email them back the 2 different plan descriptions. So it tracks what I promised I was going to do in the call. Also summarizes what the client's next steps are supposed to be, if they're supposed to be getting me back documents, or if they said their income's 50,000, but we're not really sure. I don't know. I might do more than this. Not only do you have it in a recorded call where you don't have to go back and listen to that whole thing and try to find the information that was in that call, you've got a transcript, you've got a robot summary with calls to action, exactly what you're supposed to do. That has been the biggest time saver for my business because you save it in that CRM. In your very next phone call that you have with them, you can pick up exactly where you left off. Remember everything you said that you were going to do, and it has just made everything move much faster. I, Zoom Workplace is free. It doesn't cost money at first. I've upgraded mine to a higher version of it. You know, they all give you a little free something, something, and then they're like, oh, but you can get this little thing over here for $20. It's really cheap, and I have my whole team on it. So now my team, every single intake call, customer service call, everything they ask, they utilize that Zoom workforce. So then they don't have to go into the CRM and manually type in the notes about what that call was about. They just a flow of everything so much better. And if I had a really complex call with a customer, instead of me rewriting an email summarizing what we talked about, I can just upload that. I'm saving minutes and minutes on every single call, and that adds up to a lot in just a week. So Zoom Workplace, um, Claude AI integrated with your Calendlies and your phones and your emails and everything that you can integrate it with, and introduce yourself to your robot. Let them know who you are, what you stand for, so that they can present themselves to you in a way that meets the core values of your company. That is extremely important. But I know we're out of time, but I have so many more words if we need to do this another day.
Alyssa, can I ask you a
Yeah.
quick question?
Yeah,
On the Claude, I know they've got the $20 a month version, the $100, and $200. What do you do to get what you're doing?
I would just do the $20 version. We're not going to be doing coding. We're not going to be doing huge government contracting projects where we need charts and graphs. Start with that $20 version, and that should be all you need.
Okay. And then that Zoom, it was Zoom Workplace, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Zoom Workplace.
Thank you.
Heather,
Does anybody else? Yeah. Go.
my
Yep.
3 cents is look at the lady that just spoke to us. That's probably the biggest book of ACA business in the state. Okay. If not the biggest or one of the biggest. And it's technology that got her there. And so I just can't emphasize enough to listen to what she's saying in technology. She doesn't sit there and do it all herself. She's got the technology to help her go way beyond herself. And so, I mean, what you've just shared this morning, if everyone will take bits and pieces of that, they will be able to grow and grow and grow their business and try to catch up to you. Maybe.
Will say there was a point when I was not utilizing technology and I was trying to do it myself. I got to a mental point that I had so many clients that I was literally contemplating, I just can't do this because I can't grow anymore. I can't take a single customer because I can't even service what I have during open enrollment. And so I got up against this place where after like 300 ACA clients, there wasn't enough mental capacity for me to handle it anymore. And just being me alone with a receptionist that answers phones and sets appointments, I've been able to take that. I'm in 4 states and I don't know the exact number, but we're close to 800 ACA clients that I'm able to service on my own because I use robots and technology. You can't even get to that threshold without it.
That is just, this has been so great. And I want us to do more of this because we do need to learn how to grow because I'm getting to that point that I feel like I can't take on new people because I can't take care of what I've got. So that's where, I hope we can all get to that point that we need to grow beyond just doing our few little things in Health Sherpa. And you two have been wonderful to just take your time and share with us today. Y'all are so generous with your time, and I appreciate you both being on here with us. And I look forward to us doing some more of these calls. It's been fun today. All right. Does anybody else have any questions before we go? Well, all right. Well, everybody enjoy your day and thank y'all again for being on here with us.